make those late night runs at about 4 times a week, that shit adds up like holy fuck. I had a thought for a second, it kind of just went away, but no, I came out here from Florida thinking that the weather out here would be decent, then I learned that the weather out here is quite bipolar, whereas in Florida it goes about 2 ways. Either you're gonna sweat to death or, oh, you gotta go to the store? Well, it's about to rain, better take a life raft with you when you go. Otherwise you're just fucking swimming that shit back. But out here it's just like, well, you might wanna pack a coat, you might wanna pack some shorts, you might wanna pack everything, because it could rain, snow, windy, all that in the same day. It's just like, well, goddamn, fucking pick one or two, shit. You can only pack so much, man, fuck. And then I get out here and I see that there's like a Dollar General everywhere. I'm like, what do you like, plant these fucking things? Plant them, water them a bit, in about 6 months you get one that's fucking nested. It's like, oh shit. It's a monopoly of these things out here. Along with Subways, they're just fucking everywhere out here. God damn. I like Subway though. Went blank again, it's alright. Alright. Though when I moved out here, though, I did eventually move in with some guys, roommates. Pretty cool, most of them. We had about 2 that were, as one would say, challenged. One that would just play Rocket League until about 4 in the morning, and you would just hear him be like, "Oh, hello, team." Or you just be just hanging out in your room, laying down, and you would come in there and going like, "Were you in the middle of downloading something?" "No, I was trying to sleep, but you know, it's all right. Go back to shouting at your fucking monitor now. Just whatever," or you know. Or you just scream, "These guys are bootstrapping me," and it's just like, you're gonna yell that about 3 in the morning, alright. What the fuck you got going on in the living room? You just fucking hiding here. Then you get my fucking challenged ass when I go to fucking play games. Get one mild inconvenience, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, these guys fucking suck. Bro, you got killed once. I don't give a fuck, man. I don't care if I get killed once or not. This shit fucking sucks. Then we get killed about 3 more times. It's just like, all right, it's time to drink. And but the one roommate, his name was Alan. This guy was something else. Cool guy, but he would just do some of the most bizarre shit. I'm in the kitchen just making breakfast. Then he comes in, grabs a loaf of bread off the counter, walks off. And I'm like, wait a minute. And he's like, what? Do I have to ask? Well, I needed 2 slices of bread. What, you need 2 slices this big? It took the whole fucking loaf. Well, I didn't know if it was your bread or not. Well, it has my name on it. Oh, okay. Well, what do you want me to do about that? Well, you can ask. Well, I don't know why you're getting so mad. It's just fucking bread. It won't matter. You need that. You need the whole fucking loaf of bread for what? A fucking sandwich? Jesus Christ, man. And he just does other just advanced stuff. He decided he wanted the air conditioner in his room, so we now have to go in there to his room if we wanted to turn on the air conditioner like a skip. You going like, please sir, may we lower the temperature to 60? And hope that our Lord would just do that, but instead he's like, no, let's go stay at about 70. It's just like, all right, cool. And then we had the other roommate had a ritual of hanging out on the porch a lot of things on the porch. The first time he decided to get drunk, he would go outside and he was like, I'm good. Starts throwing up over the rail. I'm like, well, what we didn't know is that he threw up on the neighbor's grill. The neighbor knocks on her door, and he was just like, do you know who threw up on my grill? I'm like, no. And I fucking text the other guy, like, you fucking need to figure something out quick, because he's at the front door right now, just asking what's going on here. And it just, he was like, well, I know it's one of you guys, and, you know, the other roommate was like, all right, I'll go out and tell him. Tells him, I may or may not have thrown up on your grill. So he spend the next, like, 30 minutes being the grill. He was like, I can't believe you ratted me out. I didn't know you threw up on the grill because it was like 2 in the morning. All you just did was went over the rail, and I was just patting you on the back, just making sure you survived. 5 fucking drinks in, and you were just out there, bud. What do you want me to do? Or the time that he decided to turn the bathtub red. The next morning when I go in there and I see that it's red, I'm like, you gonna clean that up? And he's like, no. You probably should. Well, it's not that bad. I don't remember bathtubs coming in red velvet, bud. Go in there and clean it, because that ain't right. And then there were some times where I did some smart stuff. Decided on Halloween at about 2 in the morning with a pirate hat on, drunk, to just blare air horns. It was designed as crowd control for another roommate, but I decided, no, I'm gonna be a menace to society today. Oh, you were peacefully snugged in in bed after a long day at work. Now I'm just gonna be like, because that, you know, that's just how that goes. And then the other roommate tells me, well, I don't drink very often, and we do some Mario Kart. Just decides to load up a mug full of UV blue and chugs the whole thing, and I'm like, oh. Ugh. Either you don't drink very often, or we got a misfortunate tale about to come up. And this nameless roommate at the end of the night decides, I don't want to pee in the toilet. I'm just gonna go pee in the silverware drawer instead. I found out about that back when Walmart was open 24/7. I get a Snapchat at 2 in the morning. I'm like, why the fuck are we buying a Swiffer moth? And the next morning I learned that, yep, this individual peed in it. I'm like, well, all right. We proceeded to call that roommate Piss Boy for about the next week, till he eventually was just like, guys, stop. Piss Boy's not very nice. Well, brother, man, you decided to pee in the silverware drawer rather than the toilet. I mean, at least you could pee on the floor and be like other super drunk people, but no, you just decided silverware drawer instead. That's cool. Or the time that he decided he had a lady friend over, and next morning I'm making breakfast. He comes out into the kitchen. I'm like, how things go? He goes like, oh, everything's going all right, but you know, I'm gonna work my magic, as he rubs his hands, and I'm like, oh my fucking god, were you a magician or the magician now? Like, come on, bud. Gonna work my magic or whatever? Like, shit. I can tell you as a consolation prize, that does not work. But he had I'm just like, do you need your top hat now? And a cane? Like, holy fuck, bud. Or the time that we decided to do Festivus, thinking it was a good idea until we got to the airing of grievances, and then everybody needed a drink afterwards because we said some pretty fucking mean shit to each other. I'm getting sick of you looking at me and the wall at the same time, you stupid lazy-eyed fuck. At least I can see my toes. And the other one is looking like a fucking plank of wood, and he's just like, well, you guys fucking dogpiled on me. I'm like, you take people's fucking bread loaves off the top of the fridge. You're already a menace to society. It's just, we went easy on you, and you did it in front of me too. Like, we went real simple on you, or at 3 in the morning, you gotta pull the Mickey Mouse laugh up. It's like, bro, we went easy on you. And then, of course, we did the feats of strength. They take me when I was like a toothpick compared to one of the guys who used to be a wrestler. I'm like, Okay, what do I have to do? You have to push him outside the circle. Okay, this should go relatively well. And then 5 seconds later, I realize that I'm outside of the line. I'm like, well, you didn't weigh the same as a cart at all. This is fucked up. And yeah, we decided after that, no more Festivus. The feats of strength and the grievances, none of that. Or if we did feats of strength, I didn't want to be there because I was the smallest guy. It's just like, you guys did that on purpose. I can only half look at you. I'm staring at the wall going like, ooh, that's a nice decoration back there. Then we have JJ over here.
Woo!
Thinks he's a funny guy going like, Mack Daddy! Is that gonna be your stage name, Mack Daddy? Mactron? Anything with the Mac in front of it? Then you can go to McDonald's after you tell people you're the Mack Daddy. And if you have too many McDonald's burgers, you'll have that Mac attack. Or your other eye will go lazy and then you'll look like a full-on chameleon and you'll complete the unholy trinity of fun shit.
Lizard person.
Yes, I'm a lizard person. Absolutely. Figured me out.
Jimmy, took my hat off just for you.
I didn't know we were gonna have the Grinch's cousin come here today.
Yeah. There are so many words you know.
I love you, Paul. It's all right.
I'm doing it just for you, so.
I know, but still, we appreciate you. And I appreciate you not throwing something at my head. And if you do, preferably this side of the face. The other side cannot take any more damage. My left side of my body is very unfortunate. Fucked up eye, pelvic fracture, broken fucking wrist. The right side is sacred. Let's here and we're good.
We love you, Jimmy.
Come on, really? Make him make fun of this?
No one would ever make fun of you, Paul.
Why?
Shelly, stop bullying Paul. He's got amazing energy. Oh my god, it's my dad. What are you doing here, Dad? Dad, what are you doing here? I didn't know you were going to be here. No, I thought you were going to go out for some milk and never come back. That's happened before. You have to understand, that's happened to me before. So I was shocked when you returned. You probably went to Sesame Street. What do you think, Paul? Was he there?
Yeah, well, he wasn't a rubber ducky.
Oh, man. That's how me and some of my buddies in school got along. One of my black friends decided to introduce me to some other guys. He was like, I got the perfect line for you to get in. I'm like, what is it? And he whispers to some of the boys, he was like, did your dad go out for milk and never came back either? I was like, yeah, he told me he was going to go for strawberry milk, and I thought that was fucking weird. I was like fucking 12 at the time. Like, they sell strawberry milk? That just seems like a rare fucking calamity. And then I was like, oh, he's not coming back. Oh, okay. And as a consolation prize, I went to the store later that day, got some of that strawberry shit, and I was just like, I made my own strawberry milk. Fuck you, Dad.
You wouldn't want to milk a cow up here.
Well, you know, at first I'm like, is it really a pink cow or like a strawberry covered cow? It seems so weird. Do you just like spray paint the cow and it's just like, okay, it'll pass, it's all right, we good? Well, that's just not what it is, though. Sorry for the subtle pauses. I had this all prepped in my head, and then I just keep just. Thought you were gonna bring tomatoes tonight.
Thought about it.
You thought about it?
I had some in my fridge ready to go, but I
You
forgot.
couldn't carry the can, it's too heavy.
No. You see, fresh tomatoes are environmentally friendly. Cans inquire that I might get a concussion. I'm already mentally fucked. We don't need to fucking further the damage.
Just on the left side.
Yes, left side. Start throwing stuff at the right side. I'm gonna start throwing fucking fizz, I swear.
Just move the speaker from the left to the right.
You can't damage the speaker, it's Jeff's.
Exactly, move it from the left to the right.
Oh, if it was my speaker, you wouldn't go fuck right. Yeah, there we go.
If she goes up and covers it in plastic, watch out.
Yeah. At least if you, yeah, don't throw cans though. None of that. Just making sure, because tomatoes are more environmentally friendly. Or I thought you were gonna bring your rubber band gun and just start.
Safe at work.
Oh, it's safe at work.
Yeah.
Next to your Ziploc bags. Keep them fresh.
Yep.
That way, you know, germs won't get you. Yeah, that's what we get you, a gigantic Ziploc bag, and you can just.
Chill in it.
Yep. You're like, I'm germ free, everybody.
Germ free since 23.
Or there was a time, there was a bartender that used to work here. His name was Austin. He was working one night. Me and this guy that used to live in town named Raymond, we communicate to each other via just yelling because, you know, that's what loud, obnoxious creatures do sometimes. I'm Italian and New Yorker, so it's okay if you just yell and throw hand signs at people. Like, hey, I want some Gugats, yeah? Or hey, you step on my sandwich there, Tony. I don't need that shit, Tony. But he's bartending, and me and Ray are just doing our usual shtick when he decides to step in and goes like, I'm gonna have to watch a walrus and a fucking chameleon fight each other. So I take off, Raymond takes off. 5 minutes later, this random lady who is a secret superhero of mine walks up to Austin and says to him, it's really fucked up that you called him a chameleon. Can't you think about how that possibly hurts his feelings? Let's not pretend the fact that, you know, he called the other guy fat, but it's okay. It's okay to do that. But no, the fucking 5 people that you know are cross-eyed, that's fucked up. You can't do that. Obesity is the leading cause in America, but being cross-eyed, you just look creepy at best. But at least I don't have to worry about at 30 going like, oh, my heart just suddenly fucking stopped beating. When at most for me, it could be like, oh, my other eye popped into my head, or the other one just started spinning, like whoop-de-doo. And then she proceeded to go on Twitter and tweet, hashtag lazy eye vibes matter. The 4 people that followed her are like, you go, girl. I never got to meet this person and say to them, well, thank you. I'm glad you were offended on my behalf, even though I was fucking chuckling, but thank you. I didn't know I was secretly hurt the whole time. I'm touched. And by that I mean fuck off. You should fucking tweet that it's fucked up to call the other guy a walrus. Don't you know that obesity is the leading cause of deaths in America? You fuck. But no. The rare commodity fucking cross-eyed dude, that's where we just draw the line. You pick and choose your fucking justice defending, man. It's just, ooh. But yeah, good times in this bar. There was a time where I got super trashed, and the next thing I know, I realized I was just laying on a pool table. I'm like, yeah, this is a pretty good spot to lay. And then the next thing I know, people were playing a game. I'm like, oh, that's why there's shit on my fucking back there. And they're like, are you done? And I'm like, oh, I didn't know you guys were doing something there. Seems relatively fun. Or there was a time at the Fave, it was my 22nd birthday party. We're all just hanging out. We get to the Fave, and we played a game of, if you can sit in this chair, Jimmy, I will get you one more drink. Not only did I not sit in the chair and hit the floor, the chair was about there, I'm about here. And they're like, oh, okay, bud, time for you to go. I'm like, no, I want another. And they're like, no, we gotta get you home. And we get me home, and that's just bad. I'm laying on my bed, about halfway down, telling one of my roommates, I think I'm gonna die. And he's like, how much did you have to drink? I don't know. All I just know is I think I'm gonna die. And just proceeds to just go like, bleh. That roommate stayed up until about 4, and then I played the game of at about 8. I woke up, he was like, hey, we're gonna go get breakfast, you're coming with us. I'm like, no, I'm gonna stay here. And he was like, no, I stayed up until about 4 for you. I'm like, dude, I didn't even drink that much last night. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh boy.
There you go.
Oh boy, I've always wanted to wear a fedora.
Sparkly.
Yes, I'm more radiant than I guess I usually am.
Mac Daddy.
Yeah.
At least you shine, you sparkle.
Yeah, I know. I dazzle and all that other shit. Gee, you know me.
You always do that.
I am bedazzling. I walk into a place and someone goes like, my eye, and I'm like, yeah, welcome to my life, bud.
There you go. Now
There's
you're
a good
on.
one.
Keep going, dude.
Yeah. But no, it was or the time that I experienced a pelvic fracture and I forgot the ability to walk, and I'm like, oh, this must be fun. And a friend of mine's just like, yeah, it's just like walking all over again. I was just like, what if you never really walked? What if you just, you just decided to like try to run? Well, you can't really run in your current condition. Yeah, but I kind of want to skip the whole having to put one foot in front of the other thing. There's got to be a way to do it, right? Cheat code or some shit. Speed run that shit. Nah. And you just, no, you're going to have to do what normal people do. Oh, now I'm on the spectrum of normality. That's nice. I knew I'd get there one day. I didn't think it would be because of a pelvic fracture, but Brain fart again. I feel a thought coming. It's a very sizable crowd. I thank everyone for coming out, though.
Woo!
Love you, Jim.
Yeah. Or, so I guess at about 15 is where me and somebody started story writing stuff, and we had a small group of people that would, I wouldn't say it was like approving stuff, it would just be someone in the group would pitch an idea for like a skit or a sketch, and then one of like 3 guys would approve it or kind of read it over. We had the buddy who was the relatively nice guy who would let a lot of things slide. Then we had me who was just about 9 ways from fucking brutal. If I thought it was absolute shit, you would know. But we had this guy who presented what was the worst possible skit or sketch for a small story. And he was like, all right, I'm ready to present it. I'm like, okay. He was like, what if I walk into a bar? I'm like, okay. And I just start beating the fucking shit out of everybody. Okay. And then the door opens and about 5 fucking clowns run in. You're losing me, but all right. And then after that, hot chick comes in, I start making out with her, and I'm like, okay. And that's it. And my buddy's just standing there just like, and he looks at me, and I said, okay, so you want us to do what is possibly one of the worst skits I have ever heard. And I've heard 12-year-olds present better skits than you. Well, you're an asshole. You don't like any of my ideas. Okay. Same guy would just keep, producing random skits and random shit, and it just that was the worst of it though. He didn't present another skit to us again because I think he got the idea that we just thought his shit was terrible. And we were just thinking, wait, so he like got halfway through his skit and just ended it? I was like, yeah. He was like, so it's just a shitty rom-com. And I was like, oh, it's a shitty rom-com with an action scene. Ah, so he's like a Steven Seagal type. Yep, pretty much. And then I had to talk the next day of, you gotta lighten up on people. They don't want to present skits to you anymore. Well, you get presented with a skit. You don't know if it's good or not. You present it to me, and then I just do my thing. Well, is there a way that you can lighten up a bit? Fine. I'll say that a 13-year-old can present a better idea. 12 feels a bit low. We'll raise the bar a little bit. Well, can you be less of an asshole? No. Absolutely not. Because if I tell them that their shit is good, then they're gonna make it to a major studio that gives them millions of dollars to act out their indulgencies. I'm not getting millions of dollars to act out my indulgencies and inadequacies. Why am I gonna give someone else to go to do that shit? Here, go ahead and spend $295 million on a Marvel movie that's bound to fail. And I'm gonna look back at that and be like, I told that person their skit was great. Where did I go wrong? Maybe I should have just been like, that's bad. Don't do that. Or there was a time where a colleague of mine, we had to do a project with this guy, and this guy had to be the dumbest motherfucker I've met by a mile, lapped everybody by a mile. So this was a simple PowerPoint, got your topic, broke it down into what we wanted to do. So it was simple. He would just present an idea to a buddy of mine. Buddy of mine would start getting a rough draft for a PowerPoint going. I would take it and pretty much get it to the finish line. We present this guy a topic that we were given. He goes and studies a topic that is the complete opposite. And when my buddy gets the rough draft, he was like, we might be in trouble here. I'm like, okay, why? He was like, this guy was supposed to do research on World War II. I'm like, yes. This guy did research on the Revolutionary War. I'm like, bro, how do you fucking mix those shit up? And he sends me the rough draft, and I message the guy. I'm like, we're in group chat. It says World War II in group chat. Well, all I saw was war. So I guess you figured that was all the same? Yep. You do realize that this project is due in about 3 days? Yep. You might want to revise your rough draft here. No, I don't think I will. You realize that us failing this project is equally as bad for you as it is for everyone else. No, it won't be bad for me. I'm sorry, what? Well, you guys will just fix it anyway, so it don't matter. I question your ability of can you walk a straight line? Because that's just, well, someone else will just fix it anyway. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, it just. In the end, the project gets fixed, but I just was like, this guy just, I questioned this guy's capabilities. He probably thinks that he can slip on dry land. He would probably find a way to manage that and be like, look at me, I made a world record, everyone. What are we at for time?
30 minutes.
30 minutes? Yeah, we're good.
Oh.
All right, thank you for everyone for coming out.
Woo!